wonderful yogis. My name is Emily Henderson, and this video is all about lower back pain relief. We will be showing all different modifications so that you can make yoga accessible whenever you're practicing. And we will be using blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can, I'll show some other options if you don't have blocks, but if you do, they'll come in handy for this video. So today we'll start lying on our backs, and we'll scoot forward so you have some mat to lay down on. And place the feet on the ground. Whenever you lay down on your back in yoga, it's really nice to place the feet on the ground because it lets the lower back release. So whenever you're practicing, it's a great thing to do whenever people have their legs straight. You can always bend the knees and support the lower back. Placing one hand on the stomach and one hand on the heart, we'll sink into our breath first. On your next inhale, feel the belly rise and the chest expand. And as you exhale, releasing the chest and then the stomach. Inhaling into the stomach and chest, and exhaling the chest and the stomach. Repeating that a few more rounds, slowing down with each breath. Moving at your own pace, and know that that's welcome throughout this entire class. If you want to move a little bit slower or take any breaks, feel free. We'll take one more breath here. Inhaling into the belly, really expanding the chest. And as you exhale, release the chest and then the stomach. Bending the right knee towards the chest. You can keep the left leg bent for now. We'll just pull the knee towards the chest and start making some circles in the knee. If it feels okay, you can extend that left leg long. You can place that left hand on the hip to feel a little support on the left side of the body. Then change the direction of your circles. Pulling the right knee across the chest, using the left hand to guide it, we'll come into a supine twist. The right arm extends out to the side. This twist, the knee probably won't touch the ground, and that's perfectly fine. We really want to focus on having the shoulders down. You can always place a block or a blanket under the knee to make it more comfortable as well. Breathing here and releasing into the lower back. On your next inhale, rolling through center, coming into half happy baby. So the hand can come on the hamstring, maybe you take the shin, or maybe the right hand comes to the outside of the right foot. We'll pull that knee towards the chest. If you get to the foot and you're like, nah, it doesn't work, come back to the shin or the hamstring. Flexing that right foot so that we're protecting the knee and feel as though the ball of the foot is reaching towards the ceiling. And throughout this practice, we'll focus a lot on the hips and the lower back and the hamstrings, because a lot of time tension in the lower back isn't just from the back, it's from other parts of the body. Bending the knee into the chest, raising the head for a moment, squeezing everything through center. And then exhale, placing both knees or both feet down on the mat. Rocking the knees side to side. We'll repeat that on the other side. So bending the left knee towards the chest and starting those circles. You can do that with the right leg bent or extended long. And then changing the direction of those circles. And then as you're ready, pulling the right hand outside of the left knee and guiding it across the chest. The left arm extends out to the side. Again, that left knee probably won't touch the ground, and that's perfectly fine, but we want to keep the shoulders grounded down so that we are staying in alignment with the spine. You can look towards that left hand if the neck allows, or feel free to look towards the ceiling. Again, this practice is all about you, so whatever feels best is best. On your next inhale, coming through center. And then rolling over onto either side, we'll make our way up onto hands and knees. So in yoga, a lot of times we practice cat and cow, and I want to emphasize how important cat and cow is for the spine. If you have 2 minutes in your day and you want to wake up and do cat and cow, like it'll make a huge difference in your lower back pain. So spreading the fingers really wide, the wrists are below the shoulders, and then we'll open the knees about hips width apart. When we inhale, we drop the belly, we open the heart, and we gently look up, coming into cow. As we exhale, we round the spine, pushing through the hands and knees, coming into cat. Inhale, opening the heart, coming into cow. Exhale, rounding the spine, pushing through the hands and knees, coming into cat. Following your breath, inhale as you open, and exhale as you round through the spine. Repeating that one more time. Inhale, opening, and exhale, rounding the back. Opening the knees wide, the toes will come to touch. We'll sit the hips back into child's pose. Child's pose is a really nice space to come to whenever you need a break in yoga. Another option for child's pose as well is you can bring the knees together and sit the hips back to release the lower back, and the hands can come down by the sides. But for now, we'll stay with the knees open. And then we'll walk the hands over to the left, maybe even off the mat. Stretching into the right lower back and side body. You can place that right hand over the left to go a little bit deeper if you'd like. Using the breath to let the body relax into this space. Gently walking back through center and now over to the right. And the left hand might come on top of that right hand if that feels okay for you. One more breath here, inhaling and exhaling. Walking the hands back to center. We'll come onto hands and knees, raising the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, and then exhale, releasing, threading the needle, placing the right side of the head down. We'll repeat that 2 more times. Inhale, raising the arms. Just finding some movement in the spine, exhaling as we twist. Last time, inhale, raising the arms up. And exhale, this time we'll release and stay here for a few breaths. So the right side of the face comes down. The left hand can rest by the face. The fingertips can reach forward, or that right hand can come behind the back. Finding whatever feels best in your body. Maybe even closing the eyes and letting the body sink. If there's anything that's being held, maybe in the shoulders, the toes, the throat, see if you can let it go. Pushing through the left hand, we'll raise the right arm up, opening up to the right side, then placing the right hand down. Moving on to the left side, inhale, raising the arm, exhale, threading the needle, the left shoulder and side of the head comes down. Inhale, raising the arms up, and exhale, the hand comes down. Inhale, raising the arm one last time, and this time we'll hold here. Releasing the side of the head. The right hand can stay by the face, it can extend forward, or it can come behind the back towards that right thigh. Again, seeing if you can let go of any tension that's in the body. Placing the right hand down, we'll raise the left arm all the way up. And then placing the left hand down, arriving in downward facing dog. So we tuck the toes under and reach the hips high. In down dog, we really want to focus on bending the knees so we're supporting the lower back. We're reaching the chest towards the legs, and the inner elbows are spiraling forward. So one way that I heard it explained is though you were going to twist mason jars open with your hands twisting outwards. That feeling of wrapping that bicep in is what we want to find in our downward facing dog. Walking the feet towards the top of the mat, coming towards a forward fold. Whenever you practice forward folds in yoga, make sure to bend your knees. And then later on in class, you might straighten them, but bending the knees releases the lower back. Straightening the knees stretches the hamstrings, which we will do in a little bit. So bending the knees pretty deeply here and grabbing opposite elbows and swaying side to side. And then switching the grip of your elbows. We typically have a habit of grabbing one way, so grab the other way so that we can stretch equally into the shoulders. Placing the hands down and slowly rolling one vertebra at a time up to standing. Taking your sweet time here. And then as you inhale, raising the arms up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, raising the arms again. And exhale, forward fold as you release. Bending the knees here. Then inhale, halfway lift. We'll reach the hands towards the shins or the thighs, rolling the shoulders away from the ears so the core is engaged and the gaze is down. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, releasing down. Inhale, halfway lift again, reaching through the torso. The head is an extension of the spine. Exhale, release. One last time, inhale, halfway lift, leading with the heart. Exhale, fold, this time placing the hands down and stepping back to plank. We'll inhale here and exhale, lowering all the way down onto the stomach. If you need to scoot back or anything like that, feel free. Coming into Cobra Pose, the hands will come next to the rib cage, pushing through the tops of the feet, and the legs will be zipped up. The knees may even raise off the ground. Rolling the shoulders down the back will open the heart high. And exhale, release. This time inhaling without the hands, so we're really using the strength of the lower back and engaging the core to support that lower back. Exhale, release. This time, hands will come down by the sides, palms facing down. And when we inhale, we'll raise the arms off the ground, and then the feet will even raise off. Again, the shoulders reach away from the ears, and the gaze can be down and out, but avoid looking up so that we're not crunching the back of the neck. Inhale here. And then exhale, release, pushing back to child's pose so we relax the lower back. We'll take one breath here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling. Coming back to hands and knees, this is when we will use our blocks. If you don't have your blocks handy, bringing the blocks onto the mat. We're going to stretch into the hamstring as well as the hip so that we find a little bit of more openness in the lower back. We'll start by stepping the right foot forward. If the knee is tender, you can fold over your mat or you can bring a blanket under your knee as well. Stepping the right foot forward, we'll place the hands onto the blocks. You can bring them up to the higher setting as well. Main focus here is this right knee is over the heel. If you find yourself a little more forward, walk the foot forward so that you can sink a little bit deeper. Another thing here is relaxing the shoulders away from the ears and finding a long spine. And again, the head is relaxed. You can shake the head no. Pushing the hips back, we'll walk the blocks back with us, flexing those right toes towards the face. If this feels a little more open, you can place the hands down and find a lower setting on the blocks. We're stretching into the hamstring here. You can bend this leg as much as you need. It's not about finding a perfectly straight leg. It's about feeling the stretch in the back of the hamstring. So here we'll inhale, leading with the stomach and chest, and exhale, fold. Another option here too is if you want to come up even higher, you can bring the blocks back. And I've actually seen people place this block under the hip so that they can relax a little bit more into this stretch. So again, finding what works best in your body versus what it looks like and what you think it should look like. Bending into that front knee again, we'll come back to the hip stretch and open the heart. Moving back and forth between these two stretches, so inhaling forward and then exhaling back. If you notice that the hip stretch is really tight and you're really needing that today, stay in the hip stretch. Same thing with the hamstring. If that needs more love, you can focus on that. Or you can just move back and forth, inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you come back. Taking another moment wherever you are stretching in your pose. And we'll meet back to hands and knees. You can use the blocks. You can keep the hands on the blocks there. We'll step the left foot forward now. So again, finding your stretch. You can raise the blocks up if that feels better for you, and opening through the heart. We'll be here for a few breaths. Oftentimes here, this left hip wants to hike up. We want to release the hip down and pull that right hip forward, the left hip pulling back into the socket so that the hips are facing the front of the mat. Again, the shoulders are relaxed. We're still engaging the core to support the lower back. And then we'll shift the hips back. Maybe the blocks come down or you walk the blocks back with you. And again, here it's often that this hip wants to rise. So releasing that hip down, pulling that left hip back, and even reaching that right hip forward energetically so that we're squaring the hips. Again, feel free to bend into this left knee if that serves you more in this pose. Walking the hips, walking the hands forward, and opening the heart. And then finding your pose here. Maybe one pose needs more attention than the other, or maybe you want to experiment with moving back and forth. So taking some time to do what you need in your body here. Following the breath though, so the inhale brings us forward, and you can even pause here for a few breaths, and then the exhale is what brings us back. We'll meet at the top of the mat with the left knee bent, opening the heart, and then extending that left foot back behind us and setting the blocks off to the side. Make sure that the blocks are accessible though, because we are going to use them on our backs. We'll roll to either side and we'll all arrive on our backs. And also, if you don't have blocks at home, you can just use a couple of books stacked, especially for this pose. It's really nice. So we're going to come into bridge pose first, and then I'll show you a restorative bridge pose, a really relaxing pose. Placing the feet down so that you could almost touch them with the toes or the fingers. We'll push into the hands and feet and inhale, raising the hips off the ground. This is bridge pose. If you'd like to roll the shoulders under, interlacing the fingers behind the back and opening the heart, that is an option. Really releasing any tension in the head and neck. And even trying to relax the glutes a little bit here. One more breath here, inhaling. And exhale, we release the arms, release the shoulders, and slowly roll down. The hips are the last part to touch. Now taking the block, we'll come into a restorative bridge. So lifting the hips, placing the block underneath. This is a nice option. So I taught this recently and I had someone say, is it on the lower back or is it more of the sacrum or the butt area? It's right in between. So you want it to feel really supportive here. If this feels good, you can raise the hips and place the block on a higher setting, but that is a pretty intense stretch of the psoas. So feel it out in your own body and find what works best. If you need to make any adjustments, feel free. And then if you'd like to, extend your right leg towards the ceiling. And maybe the left leg will even join it. This is a restorative legs up the wall. The arms can relax wherever they are. We do this to aid in circulation. Oftentimes when we're standing, obviously the blood is always circulating in the body, but because of gravity, it tends to pool in our feet. So when we raise the feet above the heart, we're allowing brand new oxygen to come back into the feet when we release them. We'll take one breath here. And slowly release the legs down. Removing the block. And gently release the hips down. Walking the feet out to the edge of the mat will let the knees knock in through center. Oftentimes when I started doing bridge pose, I always wanted to pull the knees into the chest and feel that nice stretch, but it's actually really intense for the lower back. So whenever you practice bridge or any kind of back bend, bringing the knees to center versus towards the chest is a little bit easier on the lower back. We'll take 3 breaths here together, placing the hand on the stomach and the heart again. We'll inhale through the stomach, expanding the chest. Exhale, releasing the chest, and then the stomach. Inhaling into the stomach and chest. Exhaling, chest and stomach. Inhaling into the stomach and chest one last time, exhaling, releasing everything. Now walking the feet back to center, bending the knees into the chest and rocking side to side, really letting yourself massage the lower back. Rolling over onto either side, we'll push through the hand and make our way up to any comfortable seated position. Arriving in your seat and closing your eyes for a moment. Noticing any sensations in the body. And taking a moment to realize any openness. Maybe it's just with the breath, the hips, the lower back. And everything may feel exactly the same too. And just noticing that. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Always know that the light and love within me is so honored to witness the light and love within each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hopefully your lower back feels better. And we've got tons of other lower back videos if you're interested in checking anything else out. You can also look at YOGATX.org to sign up for our newsletter, and you'll find out about all the new videos that we're releasing. So thank you so much for your time. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram at EmilyHenderson_yoga, or I have a yoga group called Emily Henderson Yoga ATX. That's on Facebook if you want to connect with that community. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.